Welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly, featuring the head coaches of Nicholls State University basketball, J.P. Piper and DoBee Plaisance. Today's program is presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, dedicated to patient-centered excellence. Colonel Basketball Weekly is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. Good afternoon and welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. What a huge week for Nicholls Hoops as the men's and women's squads combined to go 4-0, and both teams are right in the thick of the hunt for a regular season Southland Conference championship. We start with the men and their dramatic victory over Oral Roberts on Thursday in Thibodaux. An international TV audience on Australia and New Zealand got to enjoy watching the Colonels and their assortment of Aussies in an instant classic. It didn't look too good early on. The Golden Eagles' Sean Glover, who entered as the league's leading scorer, was red hot in the first half. He started 7 of 7 from the field. Baseline jumper puts ORU up 7. Aussie Sam McBeth gave the folks back home something to cheer about. The bonus ball here brings Nicholls within 4. McBeth scored 7. His defensive contribution later helped win it for the Colonels. Glover, though, it couldn't be stopped in the first half. 18 points before the break for him. Nicholls trailed 32-26 heading into the locker room. The Colonels would seize their first lead early in the second half, though. Another career night for Dantrell Thomas. What a pretty finish. Nicholls shot 58% in the second half after an ice-cold opening 20 minutes. That advantage there lasted just a couple of minutes. ORU works it inside to Jordan Kaufman. The bucket coming and the foul. The free throw put Nicholls down 7. Kaufman scored 9 points in only 14 minutes of action. We move along, just over 4 minutes to go. Thomas strips Glover. DT had a career-high 28 points to go with 5 rebounds and 3 steals. Surprise, surprise, the Colonels are taking their opponent down to the wire. Still down 4, $1:30 to go. Nicholls dials up TJ Carpenter and he hits a huge 3. Tough night shooting for TJ, but he delivered when his team needed him the most. Nicholls coming up, trailing by 1 here. Under 40 seconds left. The Colonels put the ball in the hands of their captain, Jeremy Smith. This kid has no fear. Big bucket. Nicholls has a lead. Smith scored 23 on 8 of 12 shooting. Now, Nicholls winds up fouling Corey Bilberry with a few ticks remaining. He missed the first free throw, but hits the second. That tied the game at 65. Bilberry scored 11. A chance for Nicholls to win it. It's Smith looking to play the hero. He takes Bobby Word baseline, the pump fake, and the shot. It won't fall. And for the second straight game, the Colonels are heading to overtime. Let's take you into the extra session. Nicholls up 1, coming up on the 2-minute mark. An easy bucket here for Bilberry off the Jabbar Singleton feed. This game featured 11 lead changes. Next possession for the Colonels, Jeremy Smith gets a leaner to drop. Nicholls in front 69-68. That advantage was short-lived. Jordan Kaufman hit a jumper a moment later. Final minute now. Who else but Jeremy Smith? The floater over Kaufman's outstretched arms. Disaster appeared to strike when the Colonels called an extra timeout after this. The technical free throw gave ORU the lead back, but Dantrell Thomas, who made the blunder, redeems himself. He hit a pair of shots from the line. Nicholls in front, 7 seconds left. ORU got one last shot. Bilberry with a paint runner. It's no good. Nicholls' first ever win over Oral Roberts. McBeth shut down Glover for fouling out. Glover made only 1 of his last 11 shots. What a great end to a memorable night at Stouffer Gym. The crowd was absolutely electric. J.P. Piper said it was the best atmosphere in his 10 years as head coach, and they enjoyed every second of it. The Cardiac Colonels now 8-1 in games decided by 8 points or less. While Saturday's matchup against Central Arkansas didn't require an extra 5 minutes, it was no snoozer either. The Bears had eked out a win over McNeese State on Thursday to snap a 5-game losing skid. They came to town hungry for more. Almost midway through the first half, UCA playing zone. They lose track of Smith here. DT finds Jeremy for the throwdown. Nicholls up 20-12. Smith was on his way to a 16-point effort. Dantrell with 5 assists. The Colonels stretch the lead to double figures. Sharp pass from Luke Doyle to DT. The bucket and foul. The free throw puts Nicholls up 11 with about 5 minutes to go before the break. Central Arkansas makes a run to close the half, though. Off the Terrell Brown offensive board, UCA works it around the perimeter before Deshaun McClure would line up the 3. He scored 15 off the bench. Nicholls up just 2 points at the intermission. Midway through the second, still nipping tough. Doyle looking to feed the post, nothing there. Sam Macbeth pops out and drills the bonus ball. Macbeth went 8 of 11 from the field. Nicholls up 59-53. About 6 minutes left now. The Bears hanging around off a DT miss. UCA star LaQuinton Miles snags the rebound, leads in transition, gets the finish and the foul. He had 22 points and 8 boards. The Colonel lead is down to 4, and UCA would get within 2 with about 4 minutes to play. But the Colonels seal it with an 11-0 run. With a couple of minutes left, Macbeth closes it out with a step-back 3. Sam went for a career-high 20 points. 78-67 is your score. Dantrell Thomas finished with a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds, plus 5 helpers. The Colonels had just 7 turnovers. They went 21 of 23 from the line. Can't beat that. Nicholls now 10-8 overall and 7-2 in the Southland. Here is what the Southland Conference standings look like entering this weekend. Stephen F. Austin has won 17 straight overall. They're still undefeated in league play, and they have a date with Nicholls on Thursday night in Nacogdoches. Sam Houston State is the only other team separating the Colonels from first place. Northwestern State has been coming on strong lately. The Colonels draw them Saturday. They won 4 in a row. Oral Roberts, meanwhile, is falling hard. Central Arkansas and Lamar are running out of time to make a move. Head coach J.P. Piper told us his club believes they're capable of anything right now.
Yeah, confidence is high. I kind of base my feel for the team on my leaders and what I sense they think and what they believe, and their confidence is through the roof. I know DT made a comment to one of our supporters after the game on Saturday that we're going to go get Stephen F. next. So in his mind, we're going to ride over there and get a win. And if that's what he's believing, then I think there's a good chance that can happen. So they understand nothing's easy in this league. They also believe in themselves. And up to this point, there's no reason that they shouldn't believe in themselves. I certainly believe in them. And I'm excited about where we sit and where we can wind up if we keep working hard.
So far, so good. The toughest challenge yet to come. Thursday night in Nacogdoches, the Colonels taking on Stephen F. Austin. They haven't lost a Southland game yet this year. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
The head coach of the Colonels, J.P. Piper, will be back with more about his coaching staff and the women's basketball team on the other side of this timeout here on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional.
You may know Thibodaux Regional Medical Center is the only hospital in the region recognized by J.D. Power and Associates 9 times. But did you know they're the only hospital in the region to receive HealthGrade's Outstanding Patient Experience Award 6 times in a row? The only hospital in the region to receive 9 Summit Awards? And the only hospital in the state whose cancer program has received the Outstanding Achievement Award 3 times? Sam's mom, Liz Dietrich, knows. Families know. Thibodaux Regional Medical Center for expert, compassionate care.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's. You're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for. Every day we find a way to make your life better. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we're all about the people. We help you take care of yourself. That's what we do. We're here for you. We're people's health.
Welcome back to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Well, with a couple of changes to the Nicholls men's basketball coaching staff this year, Tiffany Williams introduces you to the new faces. We find out how this group has helped make the Colonels successful so far.
The prosperity of a team depends on its leadership. The story of the Colonel men's basketball team exhibits the makings of a winning season for this club. The Colonel's success can be attributed to its involved coaching staff. Head coach J.P. Piper, Renee Bailey, Darren Cone, and Liam Tribe Simmons combine their experience with basketball in everyday life in efforts to give their players a foundation to succeed both on the court and in life.
While each of these coaches hail from different walks of life, they come together as a unit in hopes to make this team the best it can be. Piper, a native of Baton Rouge, has been the head coach for the Colonels since 2004. Throughout his duration at Nicholls, Piper not only has led the Colonels to many winning seasons, but also coached several young men who are currently playing professionally throughout the world. Along with the success of past and present Colonels, Piper recognizes that the hard work and persistence of his supporting staff is what helped this program become one of the most innovative in the league.
Yeah, everybody has certain responsibilities. We've kind of delegated all the stuff that has to be done on a daily and weekly basis among everyone on the staff, and there's really I think a great sense of pulling for one another, helping one another out. If, for instance, one guy is supposed to be covering study hall but also needs to go recruiting that night, they switch off and help one another just get done whatever needs to get done for the good of the program. Those guys all seem to work very well together. I know I don't have any issues with them. I have great confidence and trust, and quite frankly don't really check on them very often. They've all proven to be very competent at what they do, so I don't check in very often. I just assume that it's going to be done, and I've not been disappointed.
Just like the team, you got to have great chemistry on a good basketball team, and you also got to have great chemistry within the staff. We all bring about our own personalities to the staff, and I think that's good. I don't think there are some things that we do have in common between the four of us, but then there's a great deal of difference, and I think there's knowledge that we all share, with one another's, that each of us have our strength in different areas. So I think together we have a very well-rounded staff, and I think, in saying that, it brings about success.
As the mentors of young college students, these coaches realize their approach to coaching is much like that of a college professor.
A professor of American history is trying to teach you everything about American history, preparing you for the exam. And my job as a scout coach would be to prepare the team for everything they need to know about the upcoming opponent and the game being a la the exam.
While making sure the Colonels continue to have a winning season is important, the end goal for this staff is to make sure their players become upstanding men in society. This includes making good grades and making smart life decisions.
Everyone wants to play professionally, but there's only a small percentage of guys that get paid money to play. So for me to build life skills through basketball is the end goal as a coach.
Get them to focus in daily on maximizing their opportunity to get a four-year college degree, maximize their opportunity to become as good of a basketball player as they can while they're here, and also have a great time while you're doing it. This should be the best 4 years of their life in a lot of instances.
I just think it's important that we help the young men to be better going out as though they were coming in. If we don't do a great job with these young men, when they come in, if they're not better leaving, we fail them.
Although the athletic talents of each player is key in helping the team succeed on the court, the guidance and care of Coach Piper and his staff is ideal for both success in the game of basketball and in the game of life. For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Tiffany Williams.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. Folks, the Nicholls men's basketball team is back in action this weekend. They'll visit Stephen F. Austin on Thursday. Tip time is set for 8 p.m., and then it's on to Northwestern State. That game on Saturday scheduled for 3 o'clock. You can hear both contests on the Colonel Sports Radio Network, presented by your local Super Chevy dealers, including our flagship station, ESPN 100.3 The Game, which can be heard in New Orleans, the River Region, and the Tri-Parishes. Well, after suffering a 3-game losing streak, the Nicholls women's basketball team came roaring back for a pair of victories, entering last Thursday's critical matchup against Oral Roberts. The Golden Eagles came to Thibodaux after knocking off SLC frontrunner Stephen F. Austin, but had yet to win a game on the road this year. Nicholls sure seemed loose in this one. They never broke a sweat. Early on, Marina Lilly rips the loose ball away, and she would benefit. The Colonels already up 5. Jenny Nash would whip it into Lilly here for the bucket. Nash with 4 helpers. Nicholls scored the first 7 points. The Golden Eagles would get it going, though. Off the miss coming up here, the rebound bounces into the hands of Kaylin Mayberry, and she was off to the races. Mayberry scored an ORU high 17 points, keeping them hanging around for just a bit. The Colonels would strike right back. Taylor Morrison had a brilliant night. The freshman with a bonus ball coming up here. She registered season highs in points with 15 and rebounds with 9. The Colonels hit 6 threes in the first half alone. Nicholls starts to extend the lead. Jenny Nash scored all 14 of her points in the first half. She drills it from the corner here. Nash went 3 of 5 from downtown. She had 6 boards as well. The Colonels led by as many as 15. Again, Mayberry keeps ORU in it. She was the only Golden Eagle in double figures. Nicholls limited ORU to 38% shooting from the field. The Red and Gray led by 10 at the break before ORU makes their move. Guess who? It's going to be Mayberry from beyond the arc. The Nicholls advantage whittled down to 4 with about 18 minutes left. Fortunately, that is as close as it would get. How about this? After Jasmine Scott converts the free throw, Imani White catches everyone off guard. The coaches, the players, the cameramen too. She got the steal in the front court and the tough finish. White scored a dozen, also had 7 rebounds and 2 steals. ORU gets it down to 6 toward the later stages, but KK Babin comes up with a steal. Babin with 11 points, 5 helpers, and 4 steals. Nicholls scored 20 points off turnovers. Mayberry fouled out with about 5.5 minutes left. 71-60 is your final. The Colonels led it from start to finish. That would set the tone for Saturday. Nicholls versus first place Central Arkansas. Both teams coming in on fire. The Colonels winners of 3 straight against the Sugar Bears, who are on a 5-game roll. Back to Stouffer Gym Saturday afternoon. Marina Lilly was one of the few things going right for Nicholls early on. The pick and roll here with KK Babbitt. Lilly scored all 8 of her points in the first half. That bucket gave the Colonels a 4-3 lead. But UCA goes on a 22-6 run midway through the half. Micah Rice with the steal here. She finished with 11 points, putting her over the 1,000-point plateau for her career. Nicholls trailed by as many as 17. They were down 15 at the break. Think it's over? Think again. About 14 minutes to go. Imani White with a penetration and kiss off the glass. That brings Nicholls within 5. White scored 23. She's still the league leader in scoring. Nicholls gets the gap down to 1 with 9 minutes left. Babin takes a rebound up the floor and pulls the trigger. Part of a 14-0 run. The Colonels rallied from 17 down to take the lead. Under 7 minutes left, Jasmine Scott down in the post. The paint jumper puts Nicholls up 6. Scott ended up with 12 points and a couple of blocked shots. This one wasn't over. The lead is 4 with a minute left. Jenny Nash gets it on the wing. The spin and the lay-in seals the deal. Her only bucket of the day. Nicholls with a furious rally for a 69-60 win. The Colonels committed a season-low 7 turnovers and made 16 of 18 free throws. It was their first victory over Central Arkansas in Thibodaux since 2009 and the Colonels' 4th straight win overall. We take a look at the updated Southland standings. Central Arkansas hanging on to first place despite the loss to the Colonels. Lamar is just a half game out. Stephen F. Austin and Nicholls right there near the top. The Colonels are the hottest team in the league. Houston Baptist just outside the top 8. Oral Roberts is fading. Earlier today, we chatted with Nicholls head coach DoBee Plaisance about her belief in her team and how it's all come back together over the last 2 weeks.
I've always felt like we could win a championship.
What's changed?
Well, I think the biggest difference is the cohesiveness of this team and how they have truly engaged in what we've been preaching all year about the intangibles and taken that to another level. It's just not enough to play the game anymore. If championships were that easy, more than one team would win it per entity every year. There's a reason why only one team can win a championship, and they have really embraced taking it to the next level, and it's not as much as playing the game anymore. It's how we play the game, and we have to stay focused on that.
So far, so good. Colonels have won 4 in a row. They'll continue that roll, hopefully, coming up on Thursday night in Nacogdoches. She's DoBee Plaisance. I'm Mike Wagenheim. We'll be back with more of Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional in just a moment. Welcome back to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. The Colonel women's basketball team hits the road this weekend. You can listen to both games on the Colonel Sports Radio Network, presented by your local Super Chevy dealers. Nicholls takes on Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches on Thursday at 6. Then it's Nicholls versus Northwestern State in Natchitoches on Saturday. Tip-off is at 1 o'clock. KNSU 91.5 FM will carry both contests. Folks, you can watch each and every non-televised Nicholls home game on your computer or mobile device through Colonel's All Access. Live and on-demand viewing is available with daily, weekly, and yearly rates. We even include select road games for free, including the Northwestern State games. If you're a Nicholls fan, you need to have a Colonel's All Access subscription. Log on to GoColonels.com to register today. Now it's time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week. You're either local or you're not. Louisiana's best can be found at your local Rouse's or at rouses.com. This week it's Dantrell Thomas, who was also named the Southland Conference Player of the Week. He averaged 23.5 points and 7.5 rebounds in the pair of Colonel wins. The senior guard from Manny, Louisiana, shot 60% from the floor and 88% from the free throw line. Well, our other athletic programs here on campus are coming off a successful week, all under the watchful eye of the university's new leader. Alex Tullis recaps the week that was in Colonel sports.
The Nicholls Athletic Department has had a busy week. The men's tennis team saw plenty of action while the women's track and field squad returned to a familiar setting and racked up more medals. Nicholls fan base now has a new member. Dr. Bruce Murphy, Nicholls State University's president, has been seen at various sporting events on campus. Dr. Murphy sees athletics as an important part of the university setting.
It brings attention to the university. It brings honor to the university. When we compete on a national or regional stage, it focuses on Nicholls State University, and that's always a good thing.
The men's tennis team hit the courts this past Friday for their first home match. The Colonel served up a 6-3 victory over NAIA level Xavier. After winning 2-1 in doubles play, they took 4 of the 6 matches in singles. Head coach Meenakshi Sundaram was pleased with his team's performance.
I think it was a good test, and I told the guys to keep things very simple, keep it very basic, things that we've been working on, and find out how good of a shape they're in physically as well. And they came out and they did that.
On Monday afternoon, the Colonels faced number 9 Texas A&M at College Station, losing 6-1. They did, however, have a strong showing in singles play from Nico Mertens, who defeated Jeffrey Efferding, the 13th ranked player in the NCAA. The women's track and field team competed last Friday in Lake Charles, Louisiana at McNeese State for the second time this season. They had their best showing thus far with 10 top 5 finishes.
We had a lot of personal bests. I thought that the women did a great job of executing kind of the game plan. The game plan this year was to go in, or at this meet, with technique, working on a little bit of the fundamentals, kind of getting us back into kind of the groove of the entire track season. And I think that we learned a lot. We discovered a lot about ourselves.
Team members credit head coach Heather Van Norman's strong work ethic with their success.
She really pushes us to sometimes do things we don't think our bodies can do, but overall her workouts really prepare us for the meet. So by the time as we get to the meet, it's a piece of cake.
With the spring season underway, it's important to remember the goals of the athletic department and its student athletes.
I think that as long as we continue to provide opportunities for student athletes to participate at their highest level possible, as long as we engage in programs that allow the student athletes to be successful, that will increase the overall position of Nicholls regarding athletics.
While the winter storm last week may have shut the university down for 2 days, it did not slow the efforts of the Nicholls various sports teams. And with the momentum established by several of the programs since mid-January, baseball and softball will look to join the party. They both open their seasons in the coming days. For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Alex Tullis.
Thank you very much, Alex. Taking a look at what's going on around Nicholls athletics this weekend. The women's tennis program takes on Tulane in New Orleans on Thursday. The track and field team is at the Sanford Invitational on Friday. That same day, the men's tennis team visits Tulane, and the softball club opens its season at the Lion Classic in Hammond, Louisiana, facing Texas Southern and Texas Tech. On Saturday, softball matches up with Akron and Alabama State, followed by a Sunday meeting with Buffalo. Women's tennis hosts Louisiana Monroe Sunday afternoon. We will be right back to wrap things up on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, in just a moment.
You may know Thibodaux Regional Medical Center is the only hospital in the region recognized by J.D. Power and Associates 9 times. But did you know they're the only hospital in the region to receive Health Grade's Outstanding Patient Experience Award 6 times in a row? The only hospital in the region to receive 9 Summit Awards? And the only hospital in the state whose cancer program has received the Outstanding Achievement Award 3 times? Sam's mom, Liz Dietrich, knows. Families know. Thibodaux Regional Medical Center for expert, compassionate care.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for. Every day we find a way to make your life better. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we're all about the people. We help you take care of yourself. That's what we do. We're here for you with people's health.
We are back. This is Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Folks, for more information on the Nicholls basketball teams and all 14 of our athletic programs here at Nicholls State University, check out our website, GoColonels.com. That's G-E-A-U-X, GoColonels.com. It has all the latest info, game recaps, box scores, updated stats, rosters, bios, everything you need. And it's updated just about every hour. Always fresh information available at GoColonels.com. Also, plenty of ways to follow us online through our social media outlets. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. That's going to do it for today's program. We will talk to you on the radio from Nacogdoches on Thursday. Until then, take care. Today's show has been presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, dedicated to patient-centered excellence. This show has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.